Trying to get the skin of your dream for a long time but can't get it in any way? On our website you have a unique opportunity to get your favorite knife. Users on our site can hand out skins themselves, and participants need to fulfill some simple conditions. For example, watch a video or buy a case on our website. After that, you automatically become a member of the distribution. Go to the user giveaways tab and do what you like. Hellcase.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try SkinPlace. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom! Instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. SkinPlace.
Welcome back, everyone. Second best of 3 of Series 8 in the Swiss stage. And we've got two teams who are on pretty awful form at the moment. So a streak's going to be broken either which way. It's just up to this next best of 3 to find out which way it will be. Space. We've seen a little bit of them around the grounds, haven't we? Of course, in Challenger League, for example. I think they've got quite a good team. Right now, though, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm paid to give my opinion, and my opinion is, sadly, that HAVU are one of the worst teams in CCT and the Tier 2, Tier 3 space. And kind of right now, their form shows that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun to bash on teams. The thing that hurts about HAVU is how well they ended last year. How good they looked. The form they were playing, granted, is not the same lineup, but Finland's not a scene that lacks for other teams. There has to be player options, and to think that this is the best we can produce, it just is a bit baffling, I think is the way to put it. And obviously, I'm sure for a lot of the fans of their scene, it's just been confusing. I mean, how is HAVU in this sort of form? It looked like they'd bottomed out kind of in the middle of last season, but actually they've started this season off so poorly that they're almost striving towards, new lows. It's hard to imagine. I don't know. It's just hard to see how much longer this lineup stays as a 5, to be honest, before something breaks and somebody says we are looking for more. Let's roll into these rosters. Team space. X5, I guess, probably the most recognizable name here. Anybody else on your radar, Trav? Anybody else we should be watching?
I like Danists. Obviously, he's known from Bet Boom for a little while. He was then moved on, of course. But I always considered him quite a talented player, quite a decent role player in that Bet Boom team. I think he can do good work at a lower level, especially in a team like this. There was a couple of names here like Trunik and Fozil that, of course, have been around this space roster for a very long time. And they don't really play a whole lot, Team Space. That's the main thing with them. Recently, they've been kind of ramping up with their officials again, but very often, really the only thing we see them in has been Challenger League. They play like one other Cup and one CCT, I think. A couple of CCTs. They kind of mostly ply their trade in Challenger League. So, as we said, form not great for them right now. They are losing to good teams, though. They've lost to Bait, they've lost to Amiga, they've lost to Endpoint. Good team. Permitter, and of course the Polish Monty as well. So they're not bad losses, but if we flip the script here and look at HAVU, I mean, some of these losses are pretty bad. Like, you're losing to Rhino, the Portuguese team, 2-0. You're losing to Eklot as well, only getting one map off of them. You're losing against Ents Academy regionally. There's a reason why this team is not in good form, I'm afraid. And even though there's some good names here, like Oton, for example, it's just not enough to get the results.
No, I mean, it's always the same as well. Like, look at the roster like we are at the moment. It's like, you obviously want to come into this and say, these are the players we should watch. This is the man that can win the game. And I find it really hard with this team to point to any of them and say that. I mean, Oton, for a lot of us, is probably one of the better players on this team, but that's more by virtue of his experience rather than being a superstar player that's going to win the game. We're a bit downbeat here on HAVU, but it's for a good reason. It's because right now, I mean, the way to phrase it is we just can't see a trajectory back, can we? We just can't see where this lineup's going to get traction. Maybe they can get back to the top 100, but that's still significantly under, I think, what HAVU wants. They want a top 50 team. And right now, there is a chasm, there is a canyon between where HAVU is playing at the moment and where they want to be. And I struggle to see what that path back looks like at the moment.
Yeah, it's a problematic one for them. And as you say, we don't like to bash on teams. We don't like to bash on individuals, especially. I think there's one more player that I really want to see more out of. That's Puha. He's been a little bit better lately. I'll give him his fair dues. He has been a little bit better. But there was a streak a while back in 2024 where I think he was like 0.7 or something in like last 3 months on HLTV. He struggles very often on this team, especially against better opposition. I think if you just look down his list of stats, he has the occasional series, has the occasional map, and as I said lately, it's been definitely an improvement. But there are way too many 0.5, 0.6 performances, way too common on his record. So, need to see an improvement from him. We've got the Veto, of course. We can have a look at that right now. Pretty much the only map that I'd be confident in HAVU in at least making it a game, would be Nuke. I assume we probably will get that, considering it's not a permaban for space. It's a map they go in toward quite often, so we'll have to see.
Just actually having a quick look, I mean, they do list quite a few teams in HATV for Finland, so there must be more players. Let's take a look at the maps we're going to be seeing in this one. Of course, the tricky thing about this veto for both teams is, what is your home turf? You've been losing a lot of series. Obviously, part and parcel of that is losing a lot of your own map picks. So for both sides, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to take this. Maybe even testing out, trying to move the map in a direction where it gets safer and safer. It's going to be an Anubis pick for Team Space, which I guess has been a fairly common one for them. HAVU pick Nuke. It's a map they have picked a lot in the past, even if, of course, results recently are up and down. So I wouldn't have thought any massive surprises, but the way we're going at the moment is Team Space going to love these first two maps, aren't they?
Yeah, as I said, like, the Nuke is the only one that I'd be somewhat hopeful for HAVU on. If you look at Anubis, right, recent results for Space, they've had a couple of really good runs in some recent CCTs. They've beaten Rare Atom, they've beaten Big, Copenhagen Wolves, Endpoint, and VP Prodigy. And VP Prodigy, Rare Atom, and Big, those three, they only lost 4 rounds, and for Big only to get 4 rounds against them in a CCT map is kind of crazy. You would think they'd do a lot better in a game like that. That was, of course, was pre-player break, but still. Post-player break, they've had a close game against Amiga in Challenger League. That was just a couple of days ago, like 4 or 5 days ago. So they definitely play the good teams close to do Space, even if you look at their recent run of results. That there are some good teams in the mix, which is why you think it's going to be a struggle for HAVU. And if we do somehow get to that map 3 of Mirage, sure, it's a map that Team Space are actually quite bad at. So this is a map they really have had a bad streak on lately. They're on a 6-loss streak on that one, including a 13-2 loss to Bait the other day. Bait are very good, so you can understand that. But it's also a map that HAVU have not won at all. So, middle ground in that sense, if we do go to a decider.
We make no promises for the quality of Counter-Strike if it goes to a
yeah.
The first two should be better, so let's kind of think about this series, and I mean, obviously both teams are in bad form, but we need to reframe this about how do they change that narrative? How do they change it? Space, obviously, they didn't look that bad at the end of the last season. They're playing better Counter-Strike. It's been really since the player break, hasn't it? It's been since the player break. We're not in good form. It's very plausible that they took a lot of time off over the player break, as is their prerogative. They're certainly, if players want to do that, they can. But is that a potential reason here? Have they lacked practice? Are they still getting themselves back into form? It's been a few weeks now, so obviously that argument is starting to waver. But is that where we're at, Trav? Is the next couple weeks going to be like, well, you're out of excuses, we need to see you back in good shape again?
Especially for a team like Space, yeah, which are in a few more leagues and a few more important tournaments, I think, than HAVU are in, and for good reason. It's a good roster, I think, this Space team. It's one that, as I said, runs some big organisations and big teams with notable names very close. So, yeah, we need to see more out of them for sure. As for HAVU, I mean, just a respectable performance here is kind of all I want to see from them. As I said, Puher has been improving quite a lot as of late. His rating's actually pretty decent, and I've actually watched one game of his, which was genuinely well played from his side. And of course, he's still very young, Puher. It's important to mention something I didn't say earlier. He's only 17, so he can absolutely grow into his roles, learn the roles, and learn team play as he matures over time. So he deserves that time, and I think he's definitely shown good signs lately that he's improving off of that poor recent form. And as I said, if HAVU can just keep this series respectable scoreline-wise, I think they'll be pretty content.
I do think the way I look at this HAVU team is this lineup is on a clock. I really would be stunned if it survives the season, given the way they're going, given that, for a salaried team, for any salaried team, they expect better than this. But, HAVU has higher expectations than obviously they're playing at the moment. So when I watch this HAVU team play, the only question on my mind, Trav, is who's staying? Who is defending their position on this team? Who's the core we could build around? Who are the 2 or 3 players that we could keep and then bring in some, maybe more explosive players around it? I struggle to answer that at the moment. Maybe Otto is the only one, but I really do watch them every time, and I even find that question hard to answer of who are the bright spots right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, look at the Finnish scene in general. There was a Finnish Championship qualifier that happened recently, which qualified a team toward Elisa Espoo, the international LAN, of course. And the team that won that had Juho, who's 29, very known in the Finnish scene, and Alu, Ariel, and X7. So, you know, they're still finding success with those old guys, which kind of says a lot, perhaps. It's a great pistol recovery immediately for Team Space. It was a very fast B play. They got the opening, did HAVU, but the answer back with the dualies was too strong by Trunic and Danists. They'll get all 5 kills between them.
Trunic's played well recently. He's not a player that I'm super familiar with, but I am intrigued. I'm going to be very interested to watch him and see his approach to the Counter-Strike, and whether there is meat on the bones, as it was.
Indeed.
Wear the trousers.
Yeah, it's a question mark, isn't it? Like, as we get the full block round coming in here, MP9 should be able to get up a few. That's a good start for Trunic. Flash assist from Danists. And yeah, I mean, obviously you've got 3, maybe 2 absolutely world-class players from Finland. You've got Yimpat and you've got Alexi B. You've got a start to an incredible full Finnish roster that, you know, if they're ever to play a Counter-Strike Olympics, which I like to talk about, as it's the Olympic year, they've got a great start there. You've got an IGL that's just won a major, and you've got one of the best, like, overperforming players, let alone solid players. He's even going above and beyond recently for Maus, is Yimpat. Then you've got Poddy, probably the obvious choice for the op, the one that's done more recently than the likes of Otto. But then after that, where do you really go? And other than maybe an Ariel who still would maybe want to play, but he's getting on a bit now, and X7 who is technically retired but might still play that Elisa event with Alu. Like, where do you go? It's
yeah, I will say though, certainly when Endpoint was having, I mean, they're still having problems now, but when they're at the depths and it was looking really bad, it's kind of like, it's very easy to sit and look at the Endpoint players and say that nobody's proven themselves to be better, so why would we make a change? But then obviously Cypher plays well at the major, Volt plays well, you know, other players now have been promoted, Azuwu being one of them, and then there's some other, you know, Gizmi in the mix as well, these sort of people. And you do have to stand there for a moment and be like, well, they were always there, but Endpoint never took the risk on a younger player or rejigged the lineup. I think HAVU's in a similar spot where maybe you need to just run an extended trial processes with new players. I'm not sure what exactly it would be, but I fail to believe, Trav, that there isn't a better combination that they could produce.
I agree. I know, I do agree with that. I think Airax is a good name for this team. I've watched quite a few of his games in the past. I think he's a good player, but you can't really afford to have 2 fragging players out of 5, and recently, in recent times, I've kind of sometimes only had 1. So it's yeah, it's a good point that you make, especially on a map like this where they've been struggling. In particular, Space is one of their better maps, but this is going to be a decent opening gun round for them. And Puha mentioned his improvements recently. He gets fed.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, HAVU just stand their ground and find 3 kills. Good strat. Good call. We take those. Very nice. Yeah. Well, they punished the aggression. Was it over-aggression? I'm not sure. Certainly didn't go well.
I understand why they wanted to go for it. It was kind of a bonus round, I suppose. But yeah,
I mean, also, if you look at the face of it, it was going to be a B hit, and they pushed A into 1 player. I mean, on paper, it's not bad. It's you know, you could have traded the A player and then made the B, put the B your B teammates on notice. They dropped some nades, some flanks come in. Then there was a roadmap to that working, and just unfortunately they lost 2 immediately.
X5, our favourite Steam guard coach, will try and save. I say he'll try and save. He won't try and save because he swings Airax for no reason. So Airax will get the kill. Nice opening double for him and Puha. As you say, like that A aggression coming in first, and then the E-box/canal aggression after that. Trying to get the SMGs into play too. Puha stands his ground nicely. Well played. Of course, despite losing that M4, though, they can still afford a rebuy can space.
Another very standard gun round coming out from HAVU, just default for some control. We got Uli. He's playing tasked with locking down B. There's actually a lot of util. He's going to try and take Jules. Good kill. And credit, of course, goes to the Molotovs for flushing out players. Do they keep pressing the issue? There's 2 in towards the E-box position. Uli may fall, but surely the teammates soon to come. Puha connects. Molly's going to make it very awkward for Denis on the side, and he doesn't last that long regardless. That's more like it. Clean round for HAVU.
Yeah, that was well played. Once again, it's Puha improving game by game as of late. From, as I said, there was a time a while back, and I was, not expecting much from him, but the last couple of series, even though HAVU have not found a way to win them, he's been playing a lot better. It's a good start to this one too. His team space will save with X5 and Vert. There'll be no one hunting them down this time. But opposite side of the map. Yeah, it also is worth mentioning that Yano stack that qualified for the Elite at Espo. Just saw a friend in chat mention it. It was mentioned to me a couple of days ago as well. It's just kind of a temporary stack just to try and qualify. They did qualify. They're going to be playing an international LAN in 2024, which is kind of crazy for a team like that. That's probably a lot of people will say is past it.
I think there's a very legitimate case if you're HAVU to go to that core of players and say, well, who's serious?
Yeah.
Who actually would, who wants to build a project? A couple of them might be. I mean, yeah.
I reckon this is the X7 last dance for proper this time. I think he's going to play, as far as I understand, he might play the LAN and then absolutely call it once and for all. Should be a cool way to end, I suppose, playing a LAN in your home country.
Would be. There are value, though, people of that sort of experience level, I mean.
Yeah.
Even if they're not. Who's to say someone like that couldn't transition into being a coach for a team like HAVU? And no doubt there would be value in having some more experience around this team. Who is HAVU's coach? Find myself. It is Peku.
Yeah. He's been around the Finnish scene for a while as well.
Say, coached Kova beforehand.
Yeah, against some decent opposition back then too. Back in 2022, played matches against the likes of the old Eyeballers rosters, Apex as well.
Of course, we're quite down on HAVU, but I think that is reflected by their community as well. I think I'd be surprised if it wasn't for Alexi, of course, and his tremendous success with Na'Vi, I think, and Jimfat as well. If it wasn't for those two, I think be in dire straits.
Well, I will tell you what, something that can reflect that. A lovely man on the Reddit thread, on the HLTV thread, sorry, that I was looking at earlier to try, to see if anyone posted anything about the game. His username is Goddamn Reddit Normies. He's got a Finnish flag and a HAVU logo, and his comment was, both teams have a big losing streak, but can't be worse than HAVU. So there you go. You wouldn't be wrong about that.
It's now the barometer, is it? The bottom of the rung. It's a shame.
Finnish fans do know. They'll support, but they do know.
It's a shame for a nation that, throw in some of the bigger names from 1.6 as well. They've produced top flight players for well in excess of a decade. It's just, I don't know what's, obviously they've got a couple at the moment, but in terms of depth, in terms of having a Finnish representative team, it's getting a little bit ugly. We'd love to see a little bit more.
Yeah, a bit like Sweden in a way as well. It's only recently they really made a bit of a mini comeback.
Yeah. I do think Sweden... Yeah, Sweden has been in a weird place, but it really is, I think, a matter of time for them, isn't it? It's just a matter of time until one of these there or thereabouts teams gets over that ledge to become serious.
Because Menesport have fallen off a bit since, you know, letting ZTR go. And Nilo's form has kind of a little bit gone dry as well, when it was absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, we've got Johnny Speeds, of course, doing good work at the moment as well, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see if they can improve. Smokes toward A. And X5 does the right thing by waiting. Maybe he can get a couple of his teammates with the saved pistols on their full eco. Maybe jump in for him, bait the M4 in for a kill or two. Of course, they are buying next round anyway, so that's probably what they're going to try and do. And it works perfectly. That's exactly what they do. X5 gets 2, and Danists will pounce on Puha as well. So it's Otto and Uli to make sure this round doesn't go awry, and that's awkward. He just looks away at the wrong time, but thankfully his friend is holding the angle for him too. And Uli will get both of those. X5 will hop away.
Right. Well, this one was just a bit of an eco around the saves, so I wasn't expecting the most. The damage is respectable. HAVU have plenty of change to keep them going for now. It's of course the map pick of Team Space, and we don't have the highest confidence, let's say, in HAVU on this map either. So let's see. Of course, aggression in the previous few gun rounds have played a heavy role. And I wonder if Team Space are going to turn the dial back a little bit for this one.
Get the boost working. Lots of little angles you can work around the corner of the site, of course. Danis is here with the AWP, but that's going to be super awkward for them. Danis does so well to get the kill on yellow, considering he was in the midst of kangarooing away from that angle. Very awkward for him, but still delivers. He's going to play ahead of the Molotov, though, and he will get punished by that. That's a bit overzealous from Danists. Puha will take that one every day of the week, and they are looking to go in toward B anyway. It means that it's only Trunic with the MP9 and maybe a little bit of help that could come through on a rotation from mid, but it's not really got their skates on yet.
I think had they known HAVU that man was alone, they would have committed. Because we're blessed with a lot more information than they are. So can't fault them. They've still got all their players alive. At least the 4 that survived into this mid-round. And our Team Space taking a risk. Yes, they are. Look at this. Free B lean for them. And it might just work, man. I mean, the A player for HAVU is peeled off. They've lost their option to split this A bomb site. Plenty of pressure into mid. Could alleviate some of the B pressure. And a Team Space regretting now. You need to stick. You have to stick to guns. If you're going to commit to a B lean, you can't come out of it.
Yeah. They do have 2 players very close CT, and it's a very good flash, but Otto was holding the line. Molotov's going to spread, though. Okay, that's a nice clear. And Trunic's still got a kit now in this 1 versus 1. He's making a lot of noise. No time. I wasn't looking at the clock. My bad. He's going to kill him after time as well. Perfectly done. Just makes it even more painful for HAVU to lose a player after time. Even though they built up some money, that will hurt them long term. And to be fair to Trunic, he plays that to absolute perfection.
Good news is he had enough money for armor. That's always the biggest fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, HAVU, if they had 10 more seconds on the clock there, I think it looks a lot more comfortable. It was so rushed. And Team Space, I think they got away with it because they all peeled off to fight mid. And as I was saying, I think in the position they were in, you've just got to commit to your setup. And accept the save if you're wrong. They got away with it. Got away with it for now. Again in the future, I'm not sure, but at least that time they did. Can also see his adversary. Yes, he can. Vert is plucked. Man advantage, HAVU.
And make that 2. Lovely one onto World X5 as well. And immediately, Space find what was a unlikely round, I guess you could say, in the end, even though they had Trunic in position. Now to all be Danists now. Experience, of course, of playing at some big events around the world when he was with BetBoom for a bit. But even though he gets that one AWP kill and then falls back away, I think you know the answer here, purely because Space won that round with Trunic with just that one player up. It was only him. So their money is in the bin.
Job done. Job done. I think a good spree of gun rounds really for HAVU. Obviously the last one falls by the wayside, but you're allowed. And they kept the money low. Right back at it here. Especially if they can keep a good number of players alive themselves. So 4 for HAVU. This number of saves puts it close. Which they haven't quite got the loss bonus, have they? The CTs to drop rifles. So, bit of a tough decision. I'm expecting just pistols on the remaining 2, but some teams would fully force right now. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, Trunic's bought an HE. Maybe he could have, with that 2500 he had, he could have bought. He dropped a deal or something. Dropped a P250. But yeah, they are going to choose the save option. I probably prefer this one as well. Still very easily win this round with the guns you have, and as you can see, they've put the majority of them all focused toward that B site. Dennis will try and position himself as far away from the nade as possible when it breaks open the smoke, and he takes down his counterpart beautifully. I think actually an important thing to mention here as well, I'm just double checking the stats for Danists, right? He definitely rifled on BetBoom because they had Zorta. And I think he's AWPing on Space permanently. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
He's only got a 43% headshot percentage last 3 months, which indicates AWPer.
We'll see how the series develops. I'm not sure of his history actually before BetBoom. Assume he was rifling, but
He played on that Boston Crab team, if you remember that.
yeah, I mean, I'm aware of them. I hadn't watched them much though, so
Yeah.
a little bit hard to glean much that position. Very slow from HAVU. B site would be the right call though, wouldn't it? Molly is going to hold them at bay for a moment, and look at these rotations. They are sprinting to try get more numbers onto B before it matters. Clinic of a headshot. X5 moves the scalp of yellow. Trunic doing his job. He's just buying time. That's ultimately all that matters. This many rotations, and as you said, these rounds can be potent. Yes, sir. Save. Comes good. Round for Space.
Yeah, very nice. Credit to Pew. He gives it a good go there. A little bit more damage, but not enough in the end. Would be very unlikely for him to get more than the 2 he got. And that's been the main good sign for HAVU so far.
So I'm happy to see Pew playing well. He's done pretty much everything that should have been expected of him in this game so far. Otto's got the 2 kills to basically secure a round, even though he's only got 3 total. Those are very impactful. Let's see if they can find a way to perhaps win this half. We're going to know they're going to need more, probably. But it's baby steps. They're going to smoke off camera, and looks like they're going to go straight through Temple. Right, actually not even through Temple. We're looking back toward the CT area and Beach to flank the B site. And in response to that, Team Space are looking for information, and they might just be going straight into Uli. Oh, good response from Fuzzil. But now he's the only one here to lock off this push from that beach area. And good information, good jiggle out, good smoke, and they'll avoid getting killed through it as well. That was well played by HAVU.
They're losing so many players, though, by the wayside.
Somebody needs to be a hero. Time is starting to tick. Kit is on this low HP player as well. See if that comes into play. Good damage from Puar. but no connection. 16 HP, and surely this is done. Another collective, a trade is good. Where's the kit? Where's the kit? Where's the kit? There's no time. That is unbelievable. Oh no. HAVU win on the lesser investment.
Great round from HAVU again, to be fair to them. I mean, I like the decision. They got mid. They made the decision straight away to go through CT spawn. And they managed to lock Fozil away nicely. Yellow made a slight error by going a little bit earlier on the flank. Fozil was looking at it for a very long time, as you could see. And he got that one kill. But the kits were lost in Fozil's position. And they couldn't get to it in time. Airax wastes enough time off the clock in the clutch. Well figured out. Dennis has disconnected. We'll get him back in. There we go. We'll get back underway.
Okay. Oh, is he gone again?
Happens.
Always hard to know if the HUD updates immediately, so...
In CCT, I think it usually does.
Oh,
show
legends.
The player is
Nice.
disconnected. So it's funny, like this HUD we used, which I think was, if I'm not mistaken, was developed by, I know his name. Just checking my Discord DMs. I got a DM with him from a while back. Bear with. I can see his face. Loxar, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Loxar helped develop this HUD, and yeah, I quite like it. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell who's on the minimap when it comes to like recognizing player faces and not numbers. That's the only complaint I'd have. I think I quite like it otherwise. When a player
clean.
disconnects, it does jiggle them a bit, as you've seen.
Well, we hope we're not here too much longer. We want to get back into the action, of course. For those that missed the game earlier today, overtimes, maps 1 and 2. But ultimately, win go the way of Aurora Youngblood. For those that were looking forward to seeing Sinners later today, unfortunately, we believe due to a scheduling problem, they've had to forfeit their game to Illuminar. So it will just be the sole series that follows this one, which will be... Remind me, Trav. Preezy Young Ninjas.
That's the one.
Will follow this series.
And Preezy still exists somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, but they still have a young team under their
Did they?
under their banner.
Am I right in thinking they promoted their academy team? Is that correct?
I think they, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like Preezy Rising, I think it was called, maybe. Yeah, they just promoted their academy team once they lost their main roster.
Yeah, Preezy Rising.
There we go.
Would have thought
I like-
Fnatic had, Fnatic had the rights to that name, but whatever.
I like that main Preezy team. Shame they had to let it go. I guess when players get bought out, can't replace them.
I think didn't they say publicly that just like financially this
Finance
wasn't,
things,
they can't
yeah.
they can't
Exactly.
You got players like Dupree and stuff like there is an expectation. A certain amount of compensation, and they just couldn't match it. Unfortunately, that is the reality. That is Counter-Strike at the top level. You need some money. And Team Space at the moment, well, their economy is a disaster, isn't it? They've got no money. And they need to save these guns, or they'll be on pistols.
Yeah, 4 on CT is not bad at all, but I'm going to want more, that's for sure. Just make that T side a little bit easier for them. However, we've put in a genuinely decent T side thus far. Like they've done some pretty good team play. They've made some pretty good decisions. They've set themselves up to the best of their ability. Always gone as a group. And it's paying off. They're going to have at least a tie on this opening half of this opening series in CCT number 8 in EU.
This is good from HAVU. This is in some ways some of the better CS I've seen them play for a little bit. So it's It's nice to see. Uli's getting some nice frags. People are doing well as well. And of course, as a team, keeping on the same page more often than not. This round will be, yet again, like we saw earlier, saved rifles, smattering of pistols around it. Of course, Team Space did win one of these rounds earlier. And Fuzzle looks to do the same. Does get traded, so at least even numbers being maintained. And HAVU a tremendous gap towards A. Not going to push the issue, so that timing is falling away. But the CT's clearly not happy to sit still. They want to keep moving.
Yeah, that could be a good move. Oh, it's a great catch from Airax, though. Is he aware that Danis could still be close? Absolutely not. Reload will come through in the open. It's a free kill. Good information that Danis is there, though. Vert did manage to pick up that M4 that Fozzle lost in mid after his one kill. Then I think he swapped it to a teammate. So, all good for now. 3v3, but again, lacking a kit on the eco. And the save, of course, from the previous round. Molotov in toward heaven. It's going to force him into the open. X5 gets 2. That's huge. It now sets up Danists for a 1v1 against Yellow.
Both heading this direction. Who wins? Yellow does.
Oh.
Call him Yellow, but those walls are painted red. Team Space made a mistake there. They made a mistake. They over-rotated towards B. Danis obviously finds the kill on, was it Airax? He can call. There's nobody else towards B main, but they were slightly scared that it could still be a B split. So they came off A, but you need to kind of trust. You need to trust that when you found those kills, you got a good position. What are HAVU going to do? They're going to react. They're going to react A, seeing those rifles. So, a bit of a slip-up. X5, of course, did his best, but not to be. And we're steaming towards a pretty good T-side for HAVU.
Yeah, fair play. I've got to give them their dues. I'm very pleasantly surprised. X5 takes a lot of damage to, I think, a Molotov. See the HUD jiggle and wiggle as he takes damage. Jumping around. And he's already down low off the back of that. HAVU in this final round of the half, looking for 8. And it's very winnable from there. I would be confident in the Team Space T side, without a doubt. 4 is absolutely fine on CT Anubis at this level. But HAVU have done pretty well for themselves. Airax will get taken down. Danis only goes 1 for 1. Vert's there, though. He's looking for more as well. X5 dances around the little stairs. There's a headshot angle. Otto can't deal with that one on the AWP. Last few players incredibly low. And somehow, no kills come through in that particular duel. But Peter's not going to see anything on this flank. He may have the bomb. He may choose to go elsewhere. You'd think even in a 2v4, it's going to be so hard for Team Space to lose.
I don't think they're going to expect a player to be flanking B main. Bomb though will get planted. There's 2 very low HP players for this CT side. So they need to be careful. Buddy system will let the high HP players do the work. Possible peeks in through. Temple support a call, but Pooh has lost so much HP. Yeah. And indeed will get traded. Clean retake. Team Space get us up to 5, so is that with par? I guess it is on a map like Anubis.
I would say it's with par. Maybe they've got -1 right now. Maybe they've got a birdie. I would say. I think that's a good opportunity for HAVU to get 8-4 on that T half. I think in this situation, Team Space will be very happy with 5. They should have some good T side calls in their back pocket. It's no Eagle or Albatross, but they're all right.
Rare things are albatrosses.
Indeed.
You see the golf yesterday where bogey on the second to last hole?
Yes, I did actually.
Rest in peace.
That.
Rest in peace, the gold.
Olympic gold.
I was looking forward to the playoff. They're doing great.
Scotty damn Scheffler, dude, winning everything.
He does that.
He does that.
Does that? He's want to do that. Right, what do we got? Heavy alien here for HAVU, and they're not going to sit back. They want to get aggressive. Team Space gearing up for a B split, but can they get caught? Yellow finds one, and Space needs to go. There is no time to waste. So they might lose one, but they sniff out the gap. The smoke towards main. I can't believe the smoke is holding them for so long. They're respecting it tremendously. Trunic, though, with those kills, keeps his team out the advantage for now.
Uli and Yellow in a tough position. I think quite a lot of information has been gleaned by Vert as well in where he is in mid with the bomb. I think he knows some of the rotations that are coming through from HAVU. Look at the flank that's come through, of course, as well by X5. He's going to clear out the entirety of the site here. Team Space just being patient for him to do this. One spot that I have to worry about is probably E-Box at this point. T-Smoke isn't amazing. It gives them space to run out, but they've isolated Yellow in that E-Box position. That's a good clear. And this should be a space pistol to the moon.
They're back in it. If anything, they're at an advantage now. 6-7.
They were never out of it.
No, sir. Of course, they're favourites for the win this series, we think. Certainly, if they can recover the form they had at the end of last season, I'd be very nervous for HAVU in that sort of matchup. Tap is in. Time is gone. There's no kit around. It is indeed 6 for space. It will be a tough decision for their adversaries about whether to force or to eco in the following. So all looks bright up in the sky.
Anubis would certainly be a nice place to visit, IRL, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very pretty area. You'd be familiar with a few beaches, Alan? You've been around and about?
Yeah, I mean, my
Didn't
favourite
see.
joke is that Anubis just is the ground floor east wing of the British Museum.
There you go.
But yeah, no.
I've actually been recently.
Yeah, I haven't been for a while. I did go like once a month for like 3 or 4 months. Just like to do a different bit every time.
Yeah, so much to look.
Certainly is. Wise up. But yeah, I have been to Egypt, so
There you go.
parents are doing a whole cruise down the Nile soon. They're going to go all the way along. Tomb of the
That's
Kings,
cool.
down to Luxor.
Oh, that's awkward for X5. He sees the USP lineup on A. It's a nice little full eco strap, that one, actually. Lining them up as they do. Might even get a couple of kills from it. Oh, okay, only one. All good for Team Space. Yeah, that's the water on Anubis is certainly very colourful as well. It's a particularly clear blue.
Yeah, I think anybody that's been to Cairo, I can attest, might be painting it wrong. Unless, I mean, I don't know if this is Cairo. I'm kind of assuming that, but
I'll
yeah.
look. I'll check, actually.
Who knows? It's probably further up the Nile. It's probably Thebes or Luxor or somewhere down. A bit further south, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the references. The only thing I can see is that, obviously, its location is in Egypt.
Occasionally there's a bit of lore to the map, you know?
Well, that's not a good start. Trunic's gone. And it's a bit of a mess. They're coming through the smoke. Do you find Yellow, but Trunic and Yuli are on location. Airax is over too. Everybody's here.
Oh,
What a mess of a round. We've ended up in a one-on-one.
how does he win there?
Surely Uli is favoured. Oh my.
Oh,
Not the gun for the job, was it?
no.
That was a bar fight.
Yeah, that was certainly back and forth. Great round for HAVU to take, and of course, Team Space haven't built up much of their money just yet. They're going to be able to buy here, I think, with a drop from Vert. It won't be perfect. Galil and a Tech 9 maybe? Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, it says here in the lore, considering it is named after an ancient Egyptian god, it probably takes place somewhere in Egypt. However, this has not been ever made entirely clear.
It could be modern day Egypt. Is necessarily reflective of ancient Egypt, is it? So,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe it's Sudanese.
Who
I
knows?
guess so you
True
say
enough. Nice entry. Famas slow from this position for Pia. It's just not fun. And Dennis with that AWP. Mention these are all people on this team. Nice catch.
It'd be so upsetting to win the previous round and then just get whitewashed. And their money can't take such a brutal loss as saving barely anything in the previous, then losing this. They have managed to trap these two players in the corner of main, but look at the attention that's being pulled. That almost went wrong. Oh my. That would have been on You Been Framed. Not to be, though. Still, though, how is this round still continuing? That should have been cleaner. But get it over the line in the end. We don't require Dick and Dom. Was it Dick and Dom that hosted You've Been Framed?
No. I think you're thinking of...
Is it Ant and Deck?
You're thinking like Dick and Dom in the clubhouse, like a kid's TV.
Did they? Somebody did. Wait a minute.
You've Been Framed. You've Been Framed was Harry Hill. In back in the day.
What am I thinking? Oh, am I thinking of the prank show? What's the prank show?
Yes. You've Been Framed is good though. I might steal that for a future cast, especially if there's UK people watching who are nostalgic
Prank show.
about those days.
UK.
Yeah, You've Been Framed was hosted by Lisa Riley. I actually remember this because I used to watch it, and then Harry Hill narrated it ever since. Harry Hill's TV burp though, that was different. That was great times.
This is what the fans needed to know. All of this information.
If there's like one or two UK fans in chat right now for like, you know, a Russian team and a Finnish team who understand what we're talking about, please show yourselves because
and if
these are
not,
very
just
niche.
I'm sure there's YouTube videos of You've Been Framed.
Absolutely. Anyway, we're waffling because this is an eco.
There was a good one. Oh, what was it called? Was it called like... Oh, is it like DIY disasters or something? There's like... It's definitely another one where it's like... It's just people like... to like mend their roof and then they just fall through like the roof of a portal or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Legendary.
Nice little clean up there from Fuzzle on X5. Farming up the cash with the Mac 10.
It's time to find out, isn't it, if HAVU are really in trouble on this map. Lose this round, especially without saving a multitude of weapons. Surely it's pistols, and we're up to 11 for team space, so... Got to stem the bleeding. Now's a better time than any.
Let's see. Is it stock standard? Do they want to go for some aggression? Right now it's stock standard. Yellow is being tasked with the entirety of A main. Got a quick rotate, of course, in mid, if necessary. Yeah, looking to try and push it a little bit closer now. This could be some interesting timing here for Danis. It's a lovely clear, and also though, really close range, 38 HP, damage a little bit through the doors. Might find one as one player pulls out util, but it's always going to be instantly traded. And Vert found Pierre in the meantime as well. 4v2.
Yeah. This is not great. I'd almost like HAVU just to commit both players on one side of the map. And consign themselves to the save if they get it wrong. This feels like the worst of both worlds. We've peeled out Yellow's given the site. Surely this would be such an awkward duel. Okay, 2 kills.
He does incredibly. He can survive as well. He can
Game
fall
on.
back.
They're going for this?
And wait for the Airax rotation. This is not awful.
Is there a kit down?
I'm not sure. I was going to say, I obviously don't have one right now. I'm not sure if they'll be able to go anywhere to even pick one up, even if there was one. I'm getting the impression there wasn't one. Air axe. And I could actually just pin Dennis in the corner. I'm actually very surprised that Dennis was allowed to be pinned in the corner so much. I guess I didn't know about the big flank, which is why Fozzer was keeping an eye on it. He comes back and helps out at the right time. But Dennis does superbly well in that round again. The new AWPer. Old rifler, new AWPer. Reinventing himself to great effect.
Beautiful. Is that double spray down? Tries to hold his team in the round, but too much to ask. Pause in for the Finns.
Oh
We
my
approach
God,
the fin
Alan.
of this map.
Someone in chat called Uber Noodles said Jeremy Beadle was doing it when I was younger. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Jeremy Beadle, was it?
Yeah, Beadle. I recognise that name.
What else did it do? Who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
there you go, I found it. It's on his Wikipedia. There you go. Presented You've Been Framed from 1990 to 1997. Uber Noodles, you've shown your age, mate. Unlucky. X5, that's a very lucky kill on Uli. He's kind of mid-air, jumping while half blind. And somehow hits a headshot, don't ask me how. Gets away with it. More cash to his bank. And Vert has dealt with the aggression from Puhat. And Team Space, you'd think now it's just a matter of time before they secure their map pick.
If anyone wants to hire me to host the Counter-Strike edition of You've Been Framed, I'm down.
That would be brilliant, actually.
It's what the fans need.
Yeah.
I'd also do it in a deadpan, kind of unapproving tone.
Like some of your ESL Challenger skits.
Precisely, yes. And I'll do it all wearing my old Endpoint jersey. Just to reminisce about the good times.
There you go.
Oh,
Perfect. There's that kill by X1.
Oh my.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
that is insulting.
That's pure luck. And pretty much insulting, as you say. HAVU would be like, listen, you're leading already, guys. Why did you have to hit that? Come on.
Team Space take the pause. Interesting. Guess just get on the same page. I mean, the map is as good as done. You get this round right, so I like it. No mucking around.
Main positive for HAVU here, even if they do go on to lose this game. Sure, it's a T-sided map. You'd expect their T-side to look serviceable. But it was. It was serviceable. It looked pretty good. They had some good ideas. Their mid-round decisions weren't that bad. Puha's individual level, which obviously we've been talking about, is improved lately in kind of recent matchups, in recent times. It's kind of stayed that way. He struggled a little bit on the CT side, but no, had a very respectable T side with some important kills. And yeah, we're going to their pick of Nuke. We might, hopefully, maybe we might see a few more things. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But this one's not done yet either. Wanting some chickens before they have emerged. But let's see.
I have confidence these chickens are coming.
At egg. Could be about to hatch.
Right. Okay. So heavy A leaning default for Space. Do they know about the aggression? I'm tempted to say no. Uli swings. Oh my. It's a treacherous spot because it's not a great position. Obviously, it comes into play if it's unchecked. But I just wonder if they could have got more out of that. Not to be a fake up next. That gets caught, so that util will ultimately go to waste. The bomb is on Vert, caught out in the open. Airax pushes around him. This round is carnage.
Goodness. Oh, bomb. Okay, it can go down.
can go down. And Dennis is holding the line. That's a great headshot from Vert. Nuke will find yellow, and even though it looked like there was a slight glimmer of hope, it's been cancelled pretty much immediately.
They're quite awkward, some of these rounds, but Space making it work. Definitely are. And HAVU, they've lost quite a few, haven't they, since the switch. In fact, it was what's this? 7. It was 7-4 for HAVU earlier in this game. So one of the previous 9 goes their way.
Oh, more pain for Finnish fans. Feels like the way we're going, doesn't it?
Sadly so. Sadly so. This is a rough buy as well. Utility limited. And will probably be expended very soon. They've got 2 smokes and a flash left. Flash into the A main position, and at least they've used that flash to great effect. 1 flash equals 1 kill on Nuke.
It's not an insurmountable deficit. It's just the fashion they've lost some of these rounds. It just feels unlikely. Flank is good though.
Damn.
Decent trade. And that should be all she wrote for this round. Space could save. I think it's a perfectly valid option here. Will they be allowed to? That's a very different question.
That's going to be quite a nice kill. If Uli can just move his way forward, nab the AWP. That's a free AWP for Otto, and he only had a FAMAS in this round. So, absolutely worth. X5 will choose to just keep himself up in the edge of spawn, I would imagine. Yeah, that smoke will be cleared now, so Otto can get rid of that FAMAS. He can take the M4 from Uli. And he can grab the AWP, I hope. Best way to do it. There it is. He's switching guns now. Hopefully he gets rid of it. He's found the AK. X5 knows that there's a couple of players around him. Be a little bit careful. Goes for a swing. Very risky. But fair play to him. He knew that his teammates had money anyway. Especially on Nuke and Danists. Do a little bit of extra damage. Damage does come through. But HAVU need 3 in a row for overtime. At least they do have that Otto AWP.
Important round for HAVU. Of course, everyone is at this point, but this one nonetheless must win. Of course. Where's Otto going to start off this round? He's towards B. He's not on his best map, has he? Trunix! Flashbang combination, gap behind the Molotov. Steal that for your matchmaking, that is perfect.
Oh, nice clear in mid by Uli. Before we fought, Iraq's taking some damage elsewhere. Same to Fozzle though. Now he's down to 23. They're going to be popping in toward B through this E-box area. Fozzle's got some nice control, but it's cleared by Airax beautifully. Now these 3 players, of course, all coming from the same position. Airax can just stand tall, and he will continue to do just that. Super important triple kill, up to 11 kills. That's his most important moment of the game by far.
We needed a hero. Danis actually needs to save, because if he saves, that's 2 AKs dropped. That ensures full-blown rifles across the board. Seems he will at the moment. Let's just hope he can avoid, who's that, Uli, I think, towards T-spawn. Right.
Do you want another overtime, Alan? 3 out of 3?
Why not? Butter me up. that a saying? It is now.
No, I think it actually is. I'll double check though. Hang on.
Have you ever used body butter? It is a weird sensation.
That is certainly a question. Certainly a question of all time that I've had on broadcast, and it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that it's come from you.
I make no apologies.
There is a body butter called Butter Me Up, so there you go. I just googled it. Incredible scenes.
It's very strange stuff to put on yourself.
Maybe you knew that all along.
Ooh! How's he done that on 18 HP?
He's got a second on low HP. It needs to be Otto. He's in a bad position. Yeah, it's only really good for one there. Fossil quick trade. It could be here and now for Team Space. They are quite disconnected, of course. It's going to take some time for Dennis to get that bomb over to the side, transport it over. But Vert's still going to be just being a nuisance with these nades from a little bit further back. He was lucky not to get caught there by
Arax shoot? Did Arax shoot?
I actually didn't see or hear, I'll be honest with you.
They seem pretty clued up now that there could be a flank, and Arax makes noise, so obviously they're well aware Heaven is under control, and this is done.
Good flash.
This is done. Surely all three peak at the same time. 13 to 10, and HAVU, it's just, they had a good first half, didn't they? It looked good. They're playing good Counter-Strike, but the CT side, lackluster, I guess is the word for it. Team Space on the reverse, playing some epic Counter-Strike. X5, one of the heroes as well. So they got a map up. And, yeah, it was good CS from Team Space. We enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think actually, to be fair, that was the expected result. And for HAVU, I said, make it respectable. And so far, in map 1, that was absolutely respectable, especially their T side, right? So, yeah, something to build upon. We know Team Space are a lot better than HAVU on this map. We know both teams are on a massive loss streak right now in series in general. So it's going to be important for Team Space to break it here and now. A loss to HAVU is something that is always something they can't afford to have. And yeah, Nuke coming up next. That's, of course, HAVU's pick. It's one that they've looked respectable on lately, one that I'm hoping we might see as close to scoreline, if not better. But of course, it's one that Space do play as well. So we'll have to see. We're going to go to a break, and when we're back, we'll get underway on Nuke.
Are you sick of just opening cases? Join the events! At each event you can find special cases from which tokens fall. Tokens are your ticket into a world of unique awards. For tokens, you can buy a skin, premium, or special balance. Try your luck in the skin generator. Also, you can leave your tokens at the token vault, and the more tokens you keep, the better skin you'll get. Add variety to opening cases with Hellcase.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom! Instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
We're back, and we're gonna have to see if HAVU can answer back on Nuke, of course. It's the one map that I know they've been happy to go to in multiple iterations of their roster in the past and currently, so you'd hope there'll be still something to show for them.
Yeah, they beat Dino Eklar, actually. What's that, just over a week ago? That's actually quite a big scalp, at least for where they're playing at the moment. That was 13-6 from HAVU. I think I was actually casting that game. I can barely remember it. But yeah, if there's any map where they can look more reinvigorated, I guess it's Nuke. The problem with HAVU, we even saw it there on map 1, is there might be some bright sparks, but they just really struggle to maintain it over a series, even over a map, as we saw on map 1. That for me is the fear of this team, is clearly borne out by their results, is they're just struggling to put a good series together, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the main problem. It's putting things together consistently over the course of an entire series, and yeah, if you look at the recent results for HAVU, there've been a couple of games where they've managed to find a map, like against Ents Academy and Eclot, like you say, but other than that, you have to look back to pre-player break for them to, have found any decent wins. They had one win against Ruby, and I think I casted that game, actually. It wasn't the best of performances from Ruby that day, so yeah, it's actually funny that, worst record lately you could argue is Team Spaces, but they've obviously been playing against a lot better opposition, like, Bait and Amiga, for example. So, yeah, I think you always have to dig a bit deeper on those particular things, dig a bit deeper than just the percentage stats of the map veto, and see the difference in level teams are facing. Of course, the first time these two teams have ever played each other. So maybe that's why it was a little bit closer, harder to gauge how a team's form will be, harder to gauge a particular style. But for Team Space, I'm expecting this to be done in 2.
Should be. They said they have had a pretty bad run of things, haven't they, post-player break? Pre-player break, you're looking at them saying, okay, yeah, we're on a good trajectory here. We're well inside the top 100. Let's move up. Let's approach top 50 and start looking really good. It's obviously not been quite as superlative since then, but yes. Based on the way that map 1 ended, based on the way that some of the individuals looked, I definitely think they're favoured. But they've hardly been saints in the consistency department. As of late, we did hear there was a bit of a server change, so that's why there's a tiny bit of a hold-up, but hopefully be underway in no time.
Yeah, shouldn't be too long. We've got the word in our ear that it shouldn't be too long. Yeah, it's a sort of maybe a chance to talk about, of course, the other CCT event that's going on today. Obviously, if you keep an eye on that, it's on CCT_CS2. We've got the playoffs of Series 7 currently going down. We've got 2 matches that have, one's been played and one's underway. Sangal beat 1 win very, very comfortably, and that's Sangal playing with Chill, the Belarusian player, as a stand-in as well. They won 13-3, 13-4 incredibly, and I quite like that 1-win team. So they've kind of lost their way in recent times, without a doubt. And, of course, second quarterfinal is currently going down as well. That's Ents versus Paravision. They're currently locked at 7-all in map 1.
Hopefully we're going a game soon. Sounds like it. Let's have some Counter-Strike.
Let's go.
First talking. And Nuke said, if there's any map But I can say that HAVU should be better, be more consistent. It's got to be here. And we don't want a 2-0, collapse after the first half that we're good on Anubis. We want a competitive series. And this is the best place to start, HAVU. As they then drop the whole team. The bomb is down 2. Steam code here needs to come good. And he's punching in the numbers. Very nice.
Actually quite a similar CT pistol in terms of Anubis as well. Very similar to Anubis, and the way the kills came through was actually quite similar as well, funnily enough. Similar pattern against the dualies, doing all the work. None for Trunic this time, but he still might get the last. Otto creeping around outside. Maybe a little head pop up from Secret. There it is. Danist's keeping an eye on that. And they know that Otto is kind of stuck. They're all going to converge on his position. One toward that mini position, one toward outside. Nice recovery from Otto. Trunic does whiff with the dualies. Been a little bit up and down with those dualies in this game. But they do win the pistol comfortably with 3 from Fozil.
I'm not sure if I like or dislike the pistol. Cool. They did get 4 players down alive.
Yeah.
So, look at it in that sense. It's not like they tried to vent dive and got naded and then 2 killed for a smoke or something. They did get down and into the lower site. I don't know. I mean, it's quite fast rotations from team space. I guess that's what clinched it, is X5 actually gets lower and can then crossfire his teammate coming down from ramp, rather than getting caught out of position with the pace. So I think that's kind of where the round was decided. Team space is on top of what was coming.
Yeah, there's the pistols to eat up now. Nice tapping away from X5. On toward Airax. Finds Pure top mini as well. Nice 1D from Uli. Nice crosshair placement for the second. Does he get a second? Oh, he's come off the angle. He's worried about the MP9 running him down. Top red. He thinks he's got away, but he gets caught. Does Verts. That's awkward. I'm surprised. He thought he actually managed to find a way to get away there, Otto.
This is a lot more expensive than it needed to be, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a chance he could have got another one
Trunic,
there
get
as well.
the M4, bro. There we go.
There we go.
That was a very costly round. And now HAVU can buy its minimum loss bonus for the defense, and surely a couple players. But more will be brought down. Let's see, yeah. Across the board, not good money. This is double eco territory. That is too many guns gifted over to, I think it was just the deagle really brought up. Okay. Chance then for HAVU. If they can win this, the money's in the bin. They can make good on those eco round kills. What's the call?
Airax dealing with most of the utility outside. Uli to maybe take some control. He'll clear out close left. He'll give outside red a little bit of a check. But they are going to be punching their way in toward ramp. Pio does jiggle his way into Fozil's crosshair placement though.
That's a big impact kill. This is a round they can't afford to lose. Fozil goes for more. Timing favoured, yes it is. Yellow caught between looking towards the elbow here, towards Hell. Fozil's position, Trunic relocates. Airax was pushing out specifically because he knew it was open. Trunic stands firm. Held in the end, but he has done his job. This is a collapse for HAVU.
Uli trying to just do some economic damage now. And he's going to get caught by an XM from main. Almost a kill coming through from the shotgun, but the free upgrade comes through. Now 3 AKs on that CT side. And HAVU have nothing to show at the moment.
Yeah, big stuff. Credit to Fossil. Did his job. What would that mean then? It means a half-fight best here for HAVU. Team space, let's keep this clean. We need some money in reserve. Need to do better than the previous. They're going right towards the man. They did so well in the previous round. That nade is gruesome!
Yeah.
Players shredded. Sad times.
Fossil's gonna get himself a quad kill from all that. Had those stats up to 10 and 1 to start off Nuke. Here's a replay of that. A little bit rough on the second, but recovered as the strafing came in, as you could see. Quite hard to track those.
They had their clean round. They got that economic buffer. They can lose a round. Still invest. So no double ecos.
At least in the near future. What do HAVU choose to change? Yet to see a slow gun round. This time, outer is the port of call. Smoke's raining over.
To allow for the cross. I'm not sure where they're ending yet. One player near secret, but otherwise these guys are really late. These smokes might have faded. Good grenade. Nice finish.
Vert hopping, looking for information. X5 is not going to be ready for yellow, holding the close angle in hut. And he just about gets away. That nade won't touch him either. 8 and 4 HP on Pure and yellow, 12 combined. But they're in a very good position. So much control around the map. As you can see, they're down through secret. They're down towards single door in a moment. Vert's going to have to do it all.
He doesn't know where they are. And a rotation back to A. Back to A for the T-side Trunic. Surely in for a world of pain, and yes he is. These remaining CT players might be better off saving. Don't particularly see an alternative. Have it on the board.
Yeah, fair play. That was a decently thought out round. They found their kills, just. Obviously, it's by, you know, a gnat's whisker, as they say. Which means that definitely could have been very different if Pure and Yellow had not won those. And set up the round completely differently despite the space they had. But it gave them enough confidence to go flying up the vents toward A, didn't it? And take the duel against the one remaining player that was there. They'll clear up everyone, no one will save for space. They can buy, but it's a nice round to see from HAVU.
Is it just me, or should they have done a better job of saving those guns? Feels
Always the case,
like
isn't it?
we should have been
We spoke about this
further
earlier.
away.
Yeah, we spoke about this earlier. Just save properly, please, I beg. Get yourself in a corner towards CT or something.
Right, well, at least the clean anti-eco beforehand has allotted them a full investment. Even the AWP out in tow as well. What have we got here on outer? And this is here. They are aggressive around red. That's X5. When does he choose to reveal himself? 4 players for Team Space are in the area. Look at this. Ramp has been left. It's quite a risk. At some point, they'll need to take information on outer. And HAVU going to just the right place. If they can get past this elbow player, there'll be nobody lower to contest them. But have they missed the window? Danis is here now. Connects! Ozo can peek. Does some damage as well. This could scare HAVU off. This could be enough to push them back. They're going to commit to ramp. And that could be to their detriment. Ever so difficult. Fossil finds another. That's Counter-Strike. It's a game of seconds and they missed the window.
Yeah. Otto now 52 HP. Having to shift away from ramp and look at where. Is that X5? Yes, it is. Oh, he sees the gun barrel of one. Should be both. Lovely little flick, lovely little transfer. All 5 alive for Team Space out of absolutely nowhere, despite how much damage they took. And thankfully for HAVU, they at least have that bonus cash, of course, from what they survived with their 1-round win. But, yeah, it's a very convincing round from Space.
Early pause.
Map down, of course, to HAVU. This is their pick. Got to change their fortunes before this gets out of control. That's why we're pausing. Quick discussion. They feel quite hesitant. I've noticed this quite a lot with this HAVU team in recent times. Is when you watch some other teams of a comparable level, plenty of teams obviously from Team Space's region, is they play so committed. They're aggressive, they're overly so a lot of times, but there's something to be said for making decisions and acting quickly and committing to them. And I do think this HAVU team struggles to have conviction and to make moves, and there is a big payoff in Counter-Strike to removing that hesitation. Oh no. Oh no. They are lucky, I think, to escape with only 1 man down.
Yeah, that could easily have been 2 for Fozzle. And look at who's in position towards single door. It's Danis. He actually dances with the door and goes for a second peek, lucky to keep himself alive, but then to cross back, he peeks again anyway, and Pewhill will get caught. Pewhill 0 and 6 to start this game. And sadly, I'm going to say I'm not surprised at that. Airax 12 HP. And he's going to get the plant. But how does he reposition? The answer is not well, and he wouldn't even be allowed to anyway. What can you do when you're on 12 HP? Not much. Trunic takes it, and the Space are up to 6.
Did none of the HAVU players have a smoke to deal with decon, or maybe the smoke player was the first to die? I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure either.
kind of feel like 1 is the most the Orpha should be getting.
Less than ideal. Less than ideal. At what point do we start to panic, or are we panicking already?
You know that meme where it's like the guy with his hands on his head, and it's like vibrating. It's just like a still image, but it's like, you know, written in a vibrating style. You just panic, P-A-N-I-K. It's quite a popular one, and that's probably what HAVU are like right now.
Even more so.
After that, yeah.
Yellow turns red. It's very proactive from Team Space. It's kind of also what I mean is at any point in this series, is it hard to decide who's being the more proactive team? Because I don't think it is. Yes, Team Space have lost a couple rounds. They did on the CT side of Anubis. Maybe being a bit overzealous, but they're making HAVU's life difficult. They're making HAVU have to guess and make choices and reads, and HAVU at the moment are not doing that correctly. This is becoming a smackdown.
Yeah. HAVU deserve props for what they put forth on Anubis on a map which I thought would actually be worse than this one, but this has been a worse start, that's for sure. Danis on the AWP is looking good. Otto is in position, but so is Danis. Another kill for him, up to 6 and 2. Started, I think, 0 and 1 as well, so that's a pretty fast rebuttal. Fozzle's 12 and 3, Trunic 7 and 3, X5 9 and 3. It says it all.
Team Space just dishing out a spanking. Not the type I'm into. God, this is bad. This is bad. I mean, you look at these half buys and you say it's normally about economic damage, but at what point do we just need rounds?
Yeah, I mean, so often you see this sort of a buy somehow find a way to win a round because you play with a bit more reckless abandon in a way, but that reckless abandon on the low buy is already going to cost them a couple of picks. Pure can't even drop down toward top mini. He's not allowed to.
Oh
Danis is just completely taking the round by the scruff of the neck. Why not?
What's happened to this game? I mean, granted, HAVU lost obviously a lot of rounds early on, but they were competitive. These last few been domination. Oh my. Our fears in HAVU seem to be founded. This team is on a downward spiral. Team Space are meant to be there. They're meeting a team in bad form. It's not like we're playing Astralis.
Yeah. Otto will probably timing a shot here, but of course avoided nicely.
I also feel like when I watch HAVU, again, we had this discussion earlier of, who are the standout players. The other side of that is when they lose, it always just feels like a systemic problem. I can never point at one player and say, you've made a load of errors. It's just, do they just not give themselves chances to win? Is it a lack of explosive players to open up rounds? Probably a combination, I guess, but
yeah,
HAVU aren't in these rounds.
Yeah, they're just not, and sometimes it feels like as well that when they do get beat, they get beat hard, which is the problem. Like, it's not like they're close losses like we saw in Anubis, which was a fair game. Very often, one of the maps in the best of 3 is just an absolute destruction. Let's see though, they can get at least a couple on the board on this T side, 3 or 4. Who knows? But there doesn't look like there's any way that they could get that as of yet. True Nick. Oh, this is actually relatively smart from Yellow. He's got a nice timing on this peek out door. That's a freebie, but surely he doesn't expect another player backside, and he absolutely doesn't. Danis is still in garage. They're not clearing him. He gets 2 and 3. Danis with the quad kill. Maybe he truly is an AWPer.
He's now bona fide, certified. Get the stamps out. What a map he's had. He's so confident. As well.
Yeah, I like
he means business. And it's a Galil force buy for the T's. They know they need 3. And this is not easy on the eyes. Oh, I feel bad for the Finnish fans. You'd come into this series thinking, surely we're going to be competitive here.
New series, new season. Against a team that's on a 7-loss streak. We've got a chance, lads. And it's gone.
Yeah, they've missed the smoke as well. That's meant to land further towards the vent. When it rains, it pours. And Finland's hardly known for its stellar weather. That's a good line. I'm going to use that again.
Finland's hardly known for its stellar weather. Yeah, it is, actually. Good line. I'm going to steal the You've Been Framed one, so,
That one, yeah, that was pretty good. I just come on here to try out material,
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Like, it's good to have fun with. Look at Trudick. He's absolutely... He's rimming right now. It's actually crazy. We know about edging the smoke. I'm making up a new one. There we go. God. Only one position in the entirety of the map pool. 3 versus 3. Uli will get tagged down to 40. And that's a nice double kill from Otto. They're going to turn this round back around in their favour.
Yeah.
In at least 2.
Is this 20 minutes too late, though? That is my question.
I think so.
Well, again, we did see some stellar comebacks earlier in the day, for those that weren't around. That was a 9... One of those maps was 9-0, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was.
Yes, it was.
Rory Youngman brought it back. I just feel like Team Space have a bit more depth. A bit more nuance to their play. Money, of course, here is phenomenal, so it'll be another strong buy. No fears there. But 3 rounds keeps HAVU in the game as it was. Must reach that.
Yeah, I'm just double checking the losses that HAVU have had, right? So I'm just reminding myself. They've lost in their loss streak they've had recently. They've lost an Ancient 13-5. They've lost a Nuke 13-6. They've lost another Nuke 13-3. They've lost a Mirage 13-4. And another one 13-2 against Permitter. Like, as I said, when they lose, sadly, they get owned. Which is very too common. Way too common for this team at this level.
Hearing one player's got a nosebleed.
Yeah, genuinely. Do you think it's Danis because he's AWPing so well?
I mean, maybe. I think
He's up the pitch too
I
much.
think the stress on the HAVU side might induce some problems. Pua's never got engaged on this map, clearly. Again, I'm quite convinced it's more of a systemic problem, but Counter-Strike goes hand in hand between the team and the one and the individual.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're just not seeing enough out of either side of the game at the moment, are we?
Good catch by Puha, and he's off the mark on Nuke. Let's go, lads. I believe in a Puha multi-kill in this round. Oh, good clear. Good clear by Uli. That's an excellent check. X5 was in a cheeky position. Doesn't work out for him. HAVU might get 3. They might get 3, but hang on a second. Airax should be able to trade it. He does. But Vert is still here. Uli will go down. He's down to 40 HP himself at the back of that, though. Will be smoked off. Where does Danis get into the action? Nice attempt on the spray. Just not close enough.
Yeah, it should be free, shouldn't it? It will take HAVU players overfacing galore to make this one possible. First one plucked, but so much damage done. Airax repositioned, so I don't think the nade will finish the job. It does not. Second nade. Just peppering at the moment. Doing his best to dispatch the util suddenly. For a moment. Oh, their lives flashed before them for a second
It's
there.
fine. It's fine. Puha got his multi-kill. Let's go.
I mean,
so
credit.
proud.
I mean, it's all too easy, as everyone knows, to overthink stuff when you're playing like that. He has a good round.
Still, though, there's a litany of tick boxes we need to check off before we got a game on our hands. And getting this half off to a good start is undeniably one of them.
Just around wouldn't be a bad way to do that. And check this out. No util, no kits for the defense. Armors across the board. And they're all in ramp. They've given a 5-on-5 retake.
And they didn't buy a kit, like you say. One of my pet hates. Not saving properly and not buying a kit and a pistol round when you're playing retake. They're going to get munched up, it looks like. Alto gets himself a response. Vert is kind of stuck here. And Uli will get one more, but he's, of course, behind that smoke now. And they know where he is.
That might be series, mightn't it?
I think it was for a while, I'm afraid.
At some
That's
point,
why,
this
like-
HAVU team will fracture. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Like-
It doesn't go on forever. Stuff like this.
No. Because as far as I understand, like, HAVU desperately want to stay in the scene, and they desperately want a full finished team. They've never wanted to go international. They have not ever been interested in it once. They want to have the Finnish representation, but sadly, it's just not viable right now.
It's always the same though with a team like this. Is you can say it's unfair to bag on them and point out their bad results. I tell you who's more hard done by than anybody. It's the next best Finnish players.
Yeah.
You've got to sit back and say, when is my opportunity going to arrive? And I'm sure there's, easily 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 players that are watching on HAVU and thinking, give me a crack.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. We'll have to see in the future. That's a nice little pre-aim there from Tunic. Perfect crosshair placement. And yeah, I mean, as I say, I never liked that. Hang on. Could be 2. Nice, Uli. Okay. There's going to be a player pretty close by, you'd think, though. Quick nav of the AK. He's going to tap the bomb. They should assume there's no defuse kit here, but it's a lovely pre-fire from Fossil. Danis. He spoiled it. That would have been a fantastic clutch.
How's he allowed to do this? 1v4.
Yeah, there.
It is unaware that this position could be exposed. Well, if the game was closer, we might criticize and say that's a lot of money on the floor, but is it going to have a tremendous effect on the way this game is going? It doesn't seem likely. HAVU, I'm not even sure what this buy is. It's like a half buy, but they haven't got massive loss bonus, so... What loss bonus are they on? Are they on 2... 13, 14, 15... 2-4, yeah? No.
I think so.
1-9. No, they're 2-9. They lose this one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They bought themselves off M4 armor and nades. The likely result transpires here.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. They just want them to give themselves as best chance possible in this round, I suppose, as well, knowing that they're 11-3 down. Need to find rounds desperately. And yeah, talking about HAVU again in general, I will give Puha his dues. Like, he has... I don't like bashing on a player, like I said. I like bashing on teams or players. He's only 17, bless him. Like, no, he's still a kid, basically.
It's also, like, you arrive in a dysfunctional system. It's like, what do you want?
Exactly.
What's he supposed to do?
Exactly. That's a very good point. And he has improved a little bit lately, but all too often, you see maps like this, where it's just like, 0 and 9, 2 and 11. What can you do? Whoopsie doodles. That happens. Dennis wants to kill everyone in this game, apparently. He'll get a quick trade with the AK. Vert will find Uli. They stop Puha making his way into a ramp while all the commotion is going down, and it's just Oton, top hut. He finds one, but not two.
Yeah.
And that second, it could have been a chance, but not
It's getting
two.
a little bit ugly, isn't it? But who cares when you got 9 series points? There you go. You see there are some sacrifices on this buy. Yellow's gone to an MP9. Actually, I think the kills, honestly, were enough to get more util. Without the kills, there would have been more players sacrificing here. Right. Well, Everest to scale, and even reaching base camp feels unlikely because we're limping.
Yep, the metatarsal is gone. Oh, come on, Danis. Stop it.
I've got to climb out oxygen now. Oh my, they'll be naked at this rate.
Okay, it's 1-1. Smoke bang either way. Fair enough. Round still on.
Need a Sherpa to guide him too. Ozil. Does he expect a second play? No, he doesn't. No, he does not. So another brutal round coming out. Is Otto spotted? Yes, can't quite finish his food. Trunic, alongside Fozil and Danis, they've just been brilliant.
Yeah.
And that is... Star power is a thing. Star power wins duels like that. Where they look out of sorts and somehow find the kill.
Exactly. Tried to burst his way forward with the M4A4, but not to be. Puha needs to respond. All his positioning's not great here. I don't like this. Shooting on the low HP player, but it needs to be more, and Danis will not allow that to happen. It's all yellow. And they know, of course, that he was down towards Secret and got that trade flag with the MP9. They're just going to assume that he's moved for now. They're going to try and trade their way in to this victory. Yellow is ready and waiting. Will pop his head up and find one. Will he escape or will he fight? He's going to choose to fight, and he knows exactly where X5 is going. Up the vents. Great positioning from Yellow. Red that to perfection. And HAVU will stay alive for at least one more round.
Probably two. The money's not good. They might force team space. Let's see. I'd be on board with a full eco, I think.
Will they, though?
Yeah, they're gonna force.
They know they can probably win any round.
Doesn't
in this game,
really
it feels
matter.
like.
I mean, the priority for them is just building up loss bonus and then buying and buying and buying. So, continue our analogy, we are making upward progress. We're not much above sea level yet. A long way off having any altitude sickness.
MP9 up close for Uli. I won't know that Fazil has got himself into think Africa, you call that position.
To clarify, that's because of the shape, if you look from above.
Yes.
So the...
Oh no, not like this. Not like this. Oh, okay, it's only 2. I thought it could be 3. Well played, Uli. Plays that to perfection. Can't argue with that. Once he realised the first player wasn't looking at him.
Still need one more kill, don't we, to really compel us into this round. 5 goes wide. That... I'm not sure that should have been possible. If Vert can isolate one-on-ones... Yeah, that looks like incredibly risky for Hut. Gets away with it. Whew. Okay, we should be in eco now. Did you see the thing recently about how well the Sherpas, so the local people that live in Nepal that climb Everest, taking all the dead bodies off?
Oh god.
There's part of Everest called the death zone, where the oxygen level is low enough that you can't sustain being up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did a big effort to get as many of the bodies down as they could.
That's crazy. Altitude sickness is no joke, and altitude in general is.
Yeah,
no
well, I
joke.
think you'll be all right if you're skiing in the Alps.
Yeah.
Don't think you're gonna have quite the same problem.
No, you know what I mean.
It's just HAVU at the moment. The bodies are coming down the mountain as they're trying to climb up. And they're like, oh no.
I see what you mean. Yeah, the analogy is
Oh
continuous.
no.
And I get it. I like this little mini strat here with the Deagle. The boost being edged along outside red. But eventually it's going to have to be a ridiculous shot that needs to be hit, and it's not going to happen. Everybody gets 2 taps. It will very much likely be 12-6.
Still like the idea that they meet Aurora Youngblood coming back down the mountain. They're like, wasn't that hard? You know? We can scale from a deficit, not a problem. Not a problem. Do it in our sleep. Okay, 3 defended, 6 to go. Still feels a long way gone.
Yeah. When your opponent's on 11, you always feel like you have a chance. You can afford 1 mistake. When it's 12, not so much. Especially at this deficit. Even in MR12, when the comebacks are ever so slightly more likely. Oh, this could be where it ends. Vert and Dennis will use the smoke breaking mechanic to the best of their ability. We'll get 2 opening kills. Airax gets himself the one on the little vent play there. Vent push stopped. But he's down to 38 HP from his troubles there. Peter will be gifted a freebie though, as Dennis goes searching in toward Garage. So they've got position of Team Space down towards Secret. We just need to trade out Airax, which is exactly what they'll do. They have a 2v2 to win the game.
Quite astonishing that Airax finds a kill. He just committed to an off angle, despite being on red HP. 1 bullet from death. Bold decision. There's going to be a huge duel in Secret. Going to follow soon. Either way, Vert looks trapped with this bomb. I think he's in big trouble. Yes, he is. X5. What's he got? 35 seconds and the windows are not blown. See if double door is open. No, it's not. So the gig is up. Gig is up. He's just going to have to run in, isn't he? And bare chest his way in. Another Molly.
I picked up Molly and an incendiary. That's just sort of ended his chances.
Gives up the ghost. Okay. That should have been the moment. 2 kills through smokes. I'm not sure Team Space is going to get an easier opportunity. I don't think there's any surprises they've pulled a pause either, is there? Because somebody is asking someone else a question of, guys, what happened? Like, huge advantage. We just need to pump the brakes and let HAVU make the next move, which is unlikely to work. They need to take a huge risk. Tough discussion.
It is. It is. And reality dictates really that, you know, for HAVU, they're going to have some games in this Swiss stage where they might be able to win in the 0-1 bracket and the 0-2 bracket, but every single other team is arguably better than them. The Suspect 0-1, I'd say they have a chance there perhaps, but even they look pretty good. Sinners, probably not. If you look at other results that could come through, even the likes of, you know, Monty Gen have a pretty good team, of course, because considering they have Ryu and Gizmi, obviously, and have some experience with the main team. Even the likes of, as I said, Cyber Shock and Fluffy Gangsters, even, for example, like those teams which will be sort of seen as random by a lot of people in the scene, that have no real name value, are probably better and have some more pedigree.
Thought about going up for the AK, but instead, they're going to group. Otto is on point this round. Right place at the right time. Pua is going to give ramp. Low time smoke, but it is disrespected. Good kill, though. Oh, and the second is a clinic. Is there any more going? No. But traded. This one's clean. It's going to be 8 for HAVU. And, we're not far off. We're not far off getting excited. This is base camp. That's where we're at now.
Airax will complete it, and as you say, base camp. It's a position to work from, but they still need 4 more, and that's at least 2 gun rounds and 2 quite, I would say, powerful half-buy rounds. With maybe a Hero AK or the like, with some utility and Tech 9, so they have to do it the hard way. Our HAVU. They make the scoreline as respectable as Anubis, at least, though. I can't really complain.
Set round for Team Space. They throw the full board of outer smokes, and they're going to pop inside. Yellow repositions. There's a player. I can say there's definitely a player behind the silo. I guess the molly made it so that the T player couldn't stop. Danitz, in the meanwhile, finds a couple frags himself. The bomb somehow was never actually committed sight.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions.
See again. Here's a freebie for Tunic as well. I do have a question about Puho as well. He gets his 1 kill. I see no reason why he has to just dive his way in toward lobby. He can just fall back toward ramp again and keep a numbers advantage alive. That's like... I think that's the one mistake I've seen from him today. All the other stuff is just like getting, you know, picked off by AWPs and going in first and getting entry. Like, it happens. That one was the one mistake for me. And yeah, Otto, he went searching and he's been deleted by Danists. That could be that. It's down to Airax. He's got a kit. You can afford to let them plant if necessary. But yeah, just a few micro errors from HAVU just gifted these opportunities for space. And they've even picked some spare util as well, which they can just transport toward ramp and block off Airax, even if he is here on time.
Down to the last ice pick, stuck in the ice wall. Before they cascade down, Airax, the only man that can save the Graces, finds the first, gets chased, but not to be. Team Space make a bit of a meal at the end of it, but who cares? Series over the line, 2-0. Clean as can be. HAVU dispatched.
Yeah, and dispatched in a way that I was kind of expecting it would be, indeed. Everything sorted for Team Space. They needed to break their loss streak. They had a similar loss streak to HAVU. And of course, someone would have had to have broken it, and it was space as expected. Mistakes from HAVU on that last round there. They're on the track for something, but it was always likely space were going to find the answer. And in that final round, Airax probably did the best he possibly could. Positioned himself in the vents between both sites, ready for a possibility of a retake either which way. He got the kill. He surprised them by opening the double door at the right time, but Trinnic just says no, ran him down, ignored the plant, and Airax couldn't escape in the vents to play time. So, comfortable 2-0 for Team Space. They go up 1-0, of course, in the Swiss stage. And, of course, reminder, we only have one more game to cover today, of course, because it's Preezy versus Young Ninjas. The other game, Sinners versus Illuminar. Sinners had to forfeit that one due to a schedule conflict. So, yeah, that's where we stand right now.
Yep, should be exciting, of course. Excited to shake out a little bit the next stage. We've got some 1-0 teams. Decided Team Space to keep at that sort of level. Hopefully they can get back on a trajectory. They will play tougher teams. But as mentioned, they've had a tough time since the player break. So a bit of confidence, a bit of a distance. Hopefully they continue their run. Either way, that's gonna wrap us up for today. What is the live time for the following? Is there a bit of a gap? I feel like it's
an hour-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was 4 UK.
It is.
It is. So it's 4 UK, 5 PM Central Europe. So looking at about, let's say, an hour dead until the following casters are on. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Either way, take a break, come back. Preezy Young Ninjas. There's, of course, more CCT action to come. And, of course, other iterations, other series still ongoing as well. So never going to miss your field trav of Counter-Strike. There's always CCT going down. And after a bit of a break, we'll be back here on this stream. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you then.
You look into your inventory and there's only... It's time to forget about this garbage. Here you will find everything to play with really cool skins. Open top cases. Upgrade dropped skins and turn your junk into a cool gun using the contract system. Every day, thousands of people upgrade their inventory with us. Hellcase.com. Look at yourself in a new way.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skinplace. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skinplace.